Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most underrated gems in the world of JRPGs, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Whether you're a seasoned fan of the series or you're thinking of picking it up for the first time, this review will give you an in-depth look at why this game deserves far more recognition than it gets. From its incredibly well-written characters, including some of the best villains in gaming, to its complex combat system and breathtaking soundtrack, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a masterpiece in so many ways. Let's kick things off by talking about the story and characters, which are truly the heart and soul of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The plot follows Rex, a young salvager, and his journey across the world of Alrest in search of the mythical paradise Elysium. What starts off as a personal quest quickly escalates into something much grander with stakes that span the entire world. But what makes this story so gripping isn't just the world building or the epic scale of the narrative, it's the characters. The game is packed with some of the most well-written, complex characters you'll find in any JRPG, and that includes both heroes and villains. Now, without giving away any spoilers, I want to highlight the three main villains in particular. These characters aren't your typical bad guys. Each one has depth, motivation, and a backstory that makes you understand their actions, even if you don't agree with them. One of the villains, for example, has a tragic past that drives his actions in a way that makes him feel almost sympathetic. Another villain is cold and calculating, always several steps ahead with a mysterious agenda that keeps you guessing. And the third villain is a force of nature, seemingly driven by pure ambition, but there's much more going on beneath the surface. Each antagonist challenges not only Rex and his companions, but also the player's perception of morality, making for a story that is both emotionally and intellectually engaging. The strength of the writing here is that no character feels one-dimensional, whether it's the villains, Rex's friends, or the wide cast of side characters. Everyone has their own motivations, their own struggles, and their own arc. The relationships they form, especially the bond between Rex and Pyra, are heartfelt and give the story a lot of emotional weight. Now, let's talk about the cinematic cutscenes. If you love story-driven games, you're going to be blown away by the cutscenes in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. These are some of the best in gaming, no exaggeration. The direction, the action choreography, the emotional beats, everything is top-notch. The game knows how to use these moments to elevate the story. There are plenty of intense, high-stake action scenes that feel like something out of a big-budget anime or blockbuster film, but what really sets them apart is how emotionally charged they are. Whether it's a tearful goodbye, a heated argument, or a moment of quiet reflection, the cutscenes bring the characters' emotions to the forefront in a way that's deeply immersive. The cutscenes do more than just tell the story. They pull you into it. They make you care about what's happening, not just because of the stake, but because you've grown to care about these characters.
I get it! How did he dodge that?
Who cares how? Just get them!
Piece of cake! You little... There's no way. There's no way to break their link. I don't think we're gonna beat them.
This is it. The true power of the Aegis takes me back. I've waited so long to see it again. Mithra, welcome back!
Now, let's dive into the combat system, one of the game's most complex but rewarding aspects. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 uses a real-time, party-based combat system that's a blend of auto attack and manual special moves, or arts. At the core of this system is the relationship between drivers, who are the playable characters, and their blades, who are essentially living weapons with their own personalities and abilities. Combat is strategic and dynamic. You'll have to master combos, time your special abilities, and manage your party's elemental alignment to take advantage of enemy weaknesses. The system is layered with depth, and the more you play, the more you start to appreciate how every mechanic feeds into each other. The synergy between drivers and blades creates a lot of variety in how you approach each battle. However, there's one area where the game stumbles a bit, and that's in the tutorials. For a combat system this deep, the game doesn't do the best job of explaining all of its mechanics right away. Many players might find themselves confused during the early hours, trying to piece together how certain combos work or how to properly execute a blade combo. It takes time and experimentation to fully grasp everything, but once it clicks, it becomes one of the most satisfying combo systems in the genre. Alright, now we need to address one of the areas of criticism, the English voice acting. While the English dub certainly has its moments, it's one of the weaker elements of the game. The performances can feel uneven at times, with some lines lacking the emotional depth that the scenes demand.
Listen, Pam, I'm sorry, but we really don't have time to play with you today, so hurry on home, okay?
What's this? Were you so frightened by our power that you wet yourself, furry ears?
Did I what? You've got a lot of nerve, you one-eyed monster.
Nia, you do know one-eyed monster usually means...
Huh? Means what?
It's, Mithra, why are you blushing?
In a game where the story and characters are so important, this can be a bit distracting, especially during the more emotional cutscenes. That said, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 offers an alternative that I highly recommend, the Japanese voice tracks. The Japanese cast brings a level of nuance and intensity to the performance that really elevate the story.
泣くなと言うとるじゃろうが、レックス。レックス。レックス。出たー！レックス！
ちっちゃんなのか？
嘘。
当たり前じゃろうが。見てわからんか？
わからないです。
わかるわけないって。
If you don't mind reading subtitles, switching to the Japanese voice acting enhances the emotional impact of key scenes and makes the overall experience even more immersive. Now, let's get to one of the game's absolute standout features, the soundtrack. Composed by the legendary Yasunori Mitsuda and a team of other talented composers, the music in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is nothing short of breathtaking. From sweeping orchestral scores to the emotional piano melodies, every track perfectly captures the mood of the moment. Whether you're exploring a tranquil landscape or battling a giant enemy, the music amplifies the experience in ways that very few games manage to do. Tracks like Counterattack or Drifting Soul are unforgettable, and they stick with you long after you finish the game. I can confidently say this is one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. It's a masterpiece that enhances the emotional highs and lows of the story. So, in conclusion, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an underrated masterpiece. From its deeply written characters and complex villains to its engaging combat system and cinematic cutscenes, this game offers an experience that's hard to find anywhere else. Sure, the tutorials could be better, and the English voice acting may not be for everyone, but these are minor gripes when compared to the sheer quality of the rest of the game. If you're a JRPG fan, you need to play this game, and if you're someone who hasn't experienced many JRPGs, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the perfect place to start, especially if you switch to the Japanese voice tracks. I'm going to give Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a 10 out of 10 because I think it's a perfect JRPG. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, let me know in the comment section how you felt about this game, and if you're thinking of diving into it after this review, I'd love to hear your thoughts once you start playing it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more in-depth game reviews. Until next time.